Hey, it's Andrzej Krzywda. I'm 2148, and yesterday I played against Kamil Gierulski, who is 2200. It was a training game over the internet. We played 60 minutes plus 30 seconds. We've had some connection problems while playing the game, but overall it was a very interesting game, I believe. It was a Scottish game, Scottish opening, and I think we went to a nice ending, which is very typical to this opening. And before I show our game, I will show you another game which I believe is a classic in this ending. So I studied this game some time ago. It's a game between Fabiano Caruana and Dmitry Yakovenko, played in 2013. And it showed some important ideas in this ending. So it's not about lines in this opening, it's about ideas which are important to know. So in Caruana, this is one of the possible lines, and really the order doesn't matter. They actually chose a bit different order than in our game. I try not to memorize lines, but try to learn the ideas. So this is the ending. You see this the pawn structure here. It's a bit unusual when you don't play Scotch. Then you may not know this. Here is a white pawn here, and this white pawn here is also here. So bishop is looking bad because those pawns are at this color of the bishop, which usually is bad. But overall, I believe this ending should be better for white. It's not winning, but it's white who has the initiative and tries to go for a win because of this a7 pawn. This is like very crucial part here, which may not be that easy to spot if you don't know this position. So let's look at how they played quickly, where they put pieces most importantly. So f6 is a very important idea for black. If they want to get any play, they should create some space. And now they take with a rook. Let's remember that because it will also be important in my game against Kamil. And rook goes to the 4th rank, another idea which is very important, and I've used the same idea later on. And this rank is used to go in for the a pawn in the future, but also it defends many important points in here. Now this is a very important maneuver. Knight goes to e1 and then to d3, because d3 is a perfect place for the knight here. It prevents the c5 from being taken. It supports b4 in the future. It also prevents e5 and f4 to be taken by other pieces. So d3, very important part. Now the rook f1 is also looking quite good in this place, even though at the beginning it wasn't really looked, because f4, g4, they are an option. And king is actually placed not so badly. Maybe king c2 in the future would be a move. So king c2, yeah, and look at the maneuver by black. It was knight d5, e7, f5. It goes to d4 and to b5 in the future so that it prevents the a7 from being taken. Really cool idea and a really good defensive plan for black. Bishop c3, we want to exchange those bishops. This bishop is stronger, so that's a good idea. Yeah, so now it's and now we prevent the d4 place because we don't want to let the knight in. So white is preparing for this attack into a7, but black also built some play. So quite nicely put pieces, and we see some play from the black side too. And now black creates, so even though there is a minority here, black can create some weaknesses and take some pawns here. That's the black strategy, so that's what they want to build and counter-attack with. Now white goes with some maneuvering here, g3 to prepare h4 now. So h4 is played so that the weakness here is created, and then knight f4 will be possible in some places. So that's one idea. Now we are protecting everything on this part of this board, so now we can go for the pawn. But black is also ready now to the counterattack, and one of the defensive counterattack is to exchange some pieces. And now the rook ending should be very drawish. But it's good to fast forward because white does take the a7 pawn. Meanwhile, black takes some pawns here on this side. So now white tries to benefit from this a pawn, but it's not enough. Overall, this is a quick draw because there's nothing else to improve. One thing that is good on this chess.db site is that I can see also similar games, and let's see another similar game in this variation. So again, we are in this ending. And look what Felix Levin found. Felix Levin found a very interesting plan. So the order of moves is a bit different, but let's see about this specific plan and specific idea, which is amazing. It was also in a way applied by my opponent later. So king goes to f8. Look at this, what the king does. The king goes to b7 to protect the a7 pawn. No play on this side. Now black is covered here. It is a bit delayed in this area, but overall now the f6 is applied, and look, we have a completely different situation. The king is protecting this weak part, and now white can try to win, to play, give some play on this side, but actually it's actually black who has some better game here on this side. So overall, again, a draw, which is a really nice play by Felix Levin here. Let's look at another. Another game in a similar setup. So here we have a difference, because here actually black prevents the c5 move. So this is also another way of playing this game to prevent this, and now we have a different situation. Okay, so let's go back to my game now. So now we know this this structure here. I put a reference in my notes to have Caruana Yakovenko as this primary game to study. And what happened in our game? I took this idea to put a rook on the forefront, although they usually did it with this rook, but I think it's very similar. Building space by f6, my opponent plays this idea of creating some play in here, but he takes with a bishop. I think he was tempted to create some initiative here, which I believe is not a perfect idea, because white is just stronger on this side. So I can defend. Okay, maybe he has some initiative for a moment, but I'm defending. He's now building pressure on c5. Now remember about this knight. He should go to d3 if possible. But they put the pressure even more. But after b3, like, there's nothing more black can do on this side. And they actually have not really much space on this side to do any play. So maybe it was not so good. And now bishop e7, that was probably a mistake by my opponent, because now I have knight e5, which like prevents the whole idea of taking c5, because the 7 is a weakness. So rook d8 and now knight d3. So I'm putting the knight where it belongs. I'm now defending this pawn very, very well, and black has no real play on this particular place. Now black may want to try to prepare d6, and maybe they want to move the king to this area to protect this place. My plan is to build pressure on a7, but also remember, I still have this plan which I can execute or not, to play f4, g4 and f5 at some point. So now some maneuvering. I'm preparing rook a6. I think is a good move, because now if d6, then it's just rook c6 and white is just better. So now look, my opponent applies this idea of defending by moving the knight to d4. But I'm playing also the same idea from Caruana. I'm exchanging those pieces, doubling the rook, so a7 is now lost. And now the thing is, black didn't really prepare a good game counterplay here. So I think I gained some time as compared to the Caruana game. Now also the knight d4 is not really possible, because I'm protecting this place. So now we are having this position. Here is where I was thinking for a moment, because it wasn't clear to me whether d6 is okay or dangerous to me, but you know, putting king in the center should be fine. So now I have really nice pawns here, while black didn't really prepare anything else in there. So this should be a position that I have a small advantage. Probably not winning, but a small advantage. And black now has some really nice moves, which I underestimated. So I went with b4. I'm not sure if this is a really precise move, but you know, I have to proceed somehow. And rook b8 is a preparation to nice maneuvers now. So if I go king to c4 to protect, then rook goes to e8 and prepares some play here. And here what is a threat? Rook e4 check, king b3, and then rook d4. And it's either b4 is losing, or I have to escape with this knight. So I'm trying to defend the b4 pawn from the behind. Now this whole thing is not really as strong anymore, because king c2 at the end is fine. But now rook a8, that's a nice move. And only now, after playing king b3, I noticed that there is this plan of moving the king to the queen side, not only to protect the pawns, but now he can try to trap my rook, which was a bit worrying in this situation. So I noticed that it's no longer a much better situation than I thought I have. King e7, king b2. Now I'm preparing some space for playing b5 and then having this rook back into b3, which I thought was still okay. King d8, b5, cb5, but I missed this tactic. Well, when I played this, I already saw this tactic, but before, when I prepared this, I has missed this tactic, which is immediately a draw. So I can just take knight c3, king b3, knight b5, if king c4, then even c6, and we just have an equal ending, probably a draw. And my opponent offered a draw here, so after some thinking, I accepted it. Maybe one place where it could be, where we could give a try, maybe b5 would be better here, because if cb5 and rook b5, my opponent showed me that now this tactics doesn't work, because I have this c6 move. And now the knight is hanging and the rook is hanging. So if dc6, then rook d5, cd5, king a2, and this is winning for white. So that was probably the way to play. So obviously he wouldn't be able to play this rook a2. So now I still have the chances of playing a4 and trying to promote it to the queen, and that was probably much better. Yeah, but overall this was important. This was an important beginning of this ending here, and I learned a lot. I studied more games to this opening, and I think this is like a typical Scotch structure, so it's worth knowing if I play Scotch from time to time. Yeah, so what was my weakness here? I think the weakness here, not being careful enough in this position. When I played king b2, that was probably not being, well, this looked bad, but also b5 I wasn't sure about. I just wanted to have this space for the rook right now. So that was a problem. So that was my weakness. I need to improve this, being more precise in such situations. I think apart from that, I'm quite happy, because I'm usually not the best in opening preparation, and I didn't know the lines. I think even I confused some moves order here, but overall I did know the ideas here. So I'm very happy, because I knew what to play, and that's a good thing. And as a training game, it was really worth it. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There will be more videos, so if you subscribe, you will see them more often. Thank you.